All right. How's everybody doing today? This is Joe from Retro Pocket. Today I'm bringing you another cool Game Boy project I completed recently. This is available on my Etsy store. What we have here is a Game Boy Color. It has a few different cool mods. The most obvious of which are the Boxy Pixel half shell and the funny playing button LEDs. Let me turn this volume down. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it might be loud. So this project also uses a high-speedido Super OSD screen. So that has button inputs. The button LEDs have button inputs to control them, and then this also has a GB accelerator. So there's a lot going on in terms of button inputs to control these mods, and with the GB accelerator and the buttons LEDs, there's no actual on-screen display to let you know what you're doing, so you kind of have to learn how they work. One thing I did to make things a little easier is, instead of just using select A and B like these mods tend to suggest, I use a combination of different setups for each mod. The high-speedido screen uses start A and B instead of select A and B to make that a little less confusing. You can exit with select and B. The button LEDs allow you to change modes by holding A and B. That's a monochrome mode. That's off. This is a mode where you can change the color manually by holding select in either A or B. It's a slow change, but you get the full RGB color spectrum. You can go back the other way to fine-tune it. So that's cool. And then the next mode is the one we started on, which is the breathing mode, which just kind of pulses as it slowly goes through the RGB color spectrum. You can also control brightness for the monochrome and custom color mode. The universal brightness for those modes is controlled via the monochrome mode. So you press select in A or B to change brightness, or start in A and B, that's right. So there's a little overlap with the screen controls on this, but you're not pressing start A and B at the same time, so you're not going to accidentally bring up the on-screen display. Alright, so that also controls the brightness for, the custom mode, the custom color mode. But the breathing mode is a constant brightness. You can't change the brightness on that. Alright. So, what else? Oh yeah, the Game Boy Accelerator is controlled by pressing start, select, and down. Now I'll turn the volume up just in case you can't hear it. So it got a little faster. And then we'll go to max. So this screen has full compatibility with the GB Accelerator mod. You can use all 4 modes: normal, fast, faster, and then the slow mode, which is this mode. That's a really cool mod for Pokemon games, if you want to speed things up while you're grinding, or even for something like a platformer or a shoot 'em up, or something like that, where you're trying to learn a hard level or a platforming sequence, and slowing it down helps with that. So GB accelerator is really cool. I have more of these in stock, these GB accelerator kits. So if you decide you want them on a custom build, like a Game Boy Pocket Color or something like that, I can do that. I just recommend the High Speedido Super OSD screen for Game Boy Colors mods, because I've tested things like the OLED laminated screen. That didn't work. And I also tested it with the Tad Boy color, which it kind of works with, but it's not full compatibility. So if you really want to build around that product, I recommend that screen. Alright, so I guess that's kind of it. I also changed the power LED to a frosted white to kind of be neutral there. And I tuned the brightness for that based on rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries. So they're a lower voltage versus alkaline batteries. So if you put alkaline batteries in here and they're fully charged, that LED is going to be pretty bright. I would recommend using the rechargeable batteries, the 1.2 volt rechargeable batteries instead. So it's kind of the nice and a normal brightness when it's fully charged, and then it goes down as you would expect towards being out of charge, and gets dimmer and dimmer appropriately. This build also has a green bucket mouse power regulator, so it can power all these mods comfortably, even on these lower voltage batteries. So I'm really happy with the way this project came together. Check it out on my Etsy store, or ask me any questions if you want in the comments. Later.